Welcome to Doing More. I'm Erica Cardenas. In this increasingly interconnected world, learning openness and appreciating differences is so important in many aspects of life. Recognizing diversity and inclusion is the first step in celebrating our differences, which impact our cultures, our values, and our minds. Think globally, act locally has inspired our national culture to better understand that the world is a multicultural society of which we are a part of. The systems of the world, its governments, economies, religions, and cultures are increasingly dependent on interdependence. Differences become strengths in a collaborative effort, and collaboration is a path to peace. Diversity not only promotes tolerance, but true inclusion and acceptance. Just like Pheonix Pride, an organization that's been serving the Phoenix community since 1981, they aim to educate, also promote unity, visibility, and self-esteem. Take a look. As we celebrate diversity this month and beyond, joining me today is Mike Fornelli, Executive Director with Pheonix Pride. Mike, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
First off, tell us a little bit about the Pheonix Pride organization.
Pheonix Pride is celebrating our 40-year anniversary this year. Pheonix Pride started as a march in 1981 downtown. It has grown to one of the largest LGBTQ organizations that hosts two of the largest LGBT celebrations in the state, our Pride Festival and our Rainbows Fest. In conjunction with our 40th anniversary, to also mark the milestone of our $1 million give back to the community. So at this point, we have given out $350,000 in scholarships to LGBTQ plus and allied students to continue their education, about $600,000 in community grants, which we award to other LGBTQ or nonprofit organizations that want to start new programming that's going to benefit the community, but they don't have the funds for it.
What is the Melrose District? Give us a little bit of history behind it.
It's amazing to see the growth in our city and the development that we're actually having a district where our community can gather and that the neighborhoods surrounding it are so supportive.
Now, Cox is a big partner of Pheonix Pride. Why are partnerships like that so very important?
Corporate sponsorships, business sponsorships, they help us with our operational costs throughout the year, as well as being able to put on our events. Cox Communications has been a partner with Pheonix Pride for so long, and last year they were supposed to sponsor the festival, which got canceled. Instead of rolling their sponsorship over to 2021, Cox Communications made it a donation to our foundation and are coming back in 2021 as a sponsor, as well as helping us at our locations with our internet and Wi-Fi connections to be able to get our infrastructure up to be able to hold the events.
Now, Mike, the conversation of inclusion and diversity, that's such an important one this month and beyond year-round. So why is that so important?
Everybody wants to have the same rights. Everybody wants to be accepted just like anybody else. So diversity and inclusion, to me, is the most important thing. And going anywhere needs to be a safe space for anyone in our community. And having diversity and inclusion makes it a safe space.
Mike, it's been such a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, this information, and just for everything that you do in the community as far as sharing love, hope with other people. It really does make a difference. Pheonix Pride's vision is to unify communities where diverse individuals are celebrated and are able to thrive as their authentic selves. For more information on Pheonix Pride and its mission, go to phoenixpride.org. I'll be right back with more on Doing More right after this. Welcome back to Doing More. We're here at the Melrose District in Phoenix, Arizona, celebrating diversity and equal treatment and rights for all. In the simplest of terms, diversity and inclusion encompass a group of unique individuals who acquaint and integrate with one another, but each are entirely different concepts with separate benefits. Diversity is the presence of differences within a given setting. In the workplace, that can mean differences in race, ethnicity, gender, or any other number of things. Inclusion is a practice of ensuring that people feel a sense of belonging and support from the organization. And an organization deeply committed to awarding and celebrating diversity in the workplace is Cox Communications. Take a look.
At Cox Communications, inclusion, diversity, and equity are part of our core values. It's part of who we are and what makes our company unique. It allows our employees to be able to be themselves and to bring their unique perspectives to the company. And we've been able to translate that support for inclusion, diversity, and equity into the Cox Southwest Region Diversity Scholarships. This year, Cox Communications in the Southwest Region is going to be awarding $70,000 in diversity scholarships to 20 deserving high school graduating seniors. And these scholarships are in partnership with some of our nonprofit organizations in our communities who represent diverse organizations. So in Las Vegas, we have the LGBTQ organization of Southern Nevada as one of our partners, as well as the YWCA of Metropolitan Phoenix and CPLC here locally as well. So through our partners with the Community Foundation, we've been able to partner with these organizations who offer these scholarships on behalf of Cox, and we have gotten hundreds, literally hundreds of applications for these scholarships and many deserving applicants as well. So we're thrilled. In literally the last 8 years, we've been able to award over $300,000 in diversity scholarships in our region. Hispanic organizations, Black organizations, women, those representing LGBTQ. And so through these nonprofit organizations that we have longstanding relationships with, we were able to come together and find an opportunity to award these scholarships. We've been practicing inclusion, diversity, and equity at Cox Communications for many, many years because we understand that it is part of bringing unique perspectives and enabling our employees and our clients and our communities to be themselves, to be connected, and to be part of that culture. And so it really is an extension of the commitment that Cox already has to diversity and inclusion in our company.
I remember going to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. There were no scholarships like this when I was around, especially for the LGBTQ community.
I just want to thank Cox and the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas for awarding me the Cox Diversity Scholarship.
It's going to make paying for college easier for me.
Thank you so much for the scholarship, Cox. I really appreciate it.
And then to find out Alex won this scholarship, a local Las Vegas kid, it's super cool, and we couldn't be more proud of Alex. And we're very excited that we had this opportunity to partner up with Cox.
Thank you so much for giving me the scholarship.
Thank you. This is such an amazing opportunity. Thank you.
We journeyed to El Cajon, California, where we visited a car dealership that not only sells cars, but also shares love and hope through a musical.
Okay, Master Debbie, take one. Action.
Love is for sharing, hate is for staring. There is no comparing the two.
My husband and I were sitting at home on the couch a couple months ago, and he works for the Old Globe Theater, and he's been telling me about all the actors and actresses and directors and producers that are out of work. He's like, "You're smart. Why don't you do a musical?" Well, I thought about it overnight, and I said, why the heck not? So I took it to my boss, and he goes, why the heck not? Because part of Subaru's mission is to help others inside our community. And we help lots of folks, Make-A-Wish and Feeding San Diego. And in this case, we thought, why not help all the artists and artisans in San Diego put a musical on?
At Old Town we can take in history. I think William lives there.
The overriding theme of the musical is joy and happiness and coming together during a time of strife or trouble. The musical takes place right now, real time. And it's 3 roommates that sat on the couch, played too many video games, sat on the couch, played more video games, and decided they had to get out of the house, so they all decided to go on a road trip together to San Diego.
Action!
I was approached by Matt Morrow, who's the artistic director of Diversionary Theater, and he introduced me to Randall, who then told me about this wild idea and brought me on board.
1, 6, 7, and love is contagious.
Great. I think some of the challenges are just coordinating everyone's schedules. There's so many people involved and everyone's doing so many things. I think that's one of the challenges. And then also just like sort of getting back on our feet after so long in COVID without doing a lot of this work. And so sort of getting our bearings again.
Can I take 3?
Let's go enjoy. It's full of koi here.
I think Randall and I started speaking towards the end of March, so a very short time frame. I mean, I would say for a project of this size, we've been doing it very, very quickly, and we continue to do that. So it's quick, fast, and furious, but the quality is quite high.
I wrote the lyrics and the screenplay for today's shoot. It wasn't a complicated affair, but I was given one line of what the whole thing needed to be, and then from there we just came up with the whole story, and we did it all in basically 3 weeks. So it was quite challenging, but it was extremely rewarding.
Here, 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 but please no.
I'm playing Doug, who works here at Subaru of El Cajon. So I'm going to hook him up with a car. Welcome to Subaru of El Cajon. So this is super fun. I mean, especially during a time when not a lot of stuff has been happening. It's really exciting to be doing something creative and artistic.
When he says buckle up, it's like, oh, what's next?
And also something that helps promote sharing love in the world and bringing some positivity. Love is for sharing. It's super duper fun, and I'm really excited to be here. And I can't believe it's raining a little bit, but it's clearing up. So it's San Diego, the sun will come out.
The Subaru of El Cajon Sharing the Love musical debuts July 10th on YurView in California at 11:30 a.m. and replays Sunday at 7:30 p.m. It'll air through August 8th, and it's also available online at YurView.com. Such a great way of doing more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Doing More, where we shine a light on the good things happening in our communities. We're here in the Melrose District in Phoenix, Arizona, celebrating diversity. Diversity is a natural state of being for the human race. In fact, it's what our survival depends on. And so it's important to recognize that diversity is absolutely fundamental to our surviving, but it's also absolutely key to a thriving humanity. Bringing together people of various backgrounds with different life experiences can generate ideas or perspectives, which in return, making this world a better place. We headed over to Rhode Island to visit an organization that's a voice and an advocate for children who are abused and neglected. Take a look.
If I didn't have my cause of volunteer, I don't know where I would be, because at such a dark moment when I was in group homes and having no one to advocate for you at such a young age, she was that advocator for me.
Children should not be in court. Court is for adults. But through the CASA volunteer, I can hear the child's voice, how they feel about the situation, that isn't encumbered by all those legal considerations that everyone else very properly has to prioritize in what they're telling me.
It is truly a privilege and an honor to be the voice of a child in court.
I promise these kids that I will always take their phone call. And if I don't and they leave me a message, I'll call them back. I find by doing that, they will reach out to me.
I mean, I have sometimes a dozen adults telling me about this family, and they're all doing their jobs, and they're responsible and they're sincere, but they have to focus on so many other aspects of the case. As much as we all try to think that we're all focused on the child's needs, what is vital about the role of the CASA volunteer is that they are truly only focused on the child.
What I've learned is having at least one adult in their life that is there for them to count on really helps develop that sense of well-being.
I don't know where I would have been, probably still stuck in such a dark place, but having her most definitely changed my perspective on life.
What matters to children is how they feel. And sometimes I'll learn from a CASA volunteer something that would never make it into the 5 reports I'm reading that day.
I had this young kid text me the other morning and asked me how I was doing. So I called him up and I said, "What's up? Why are you worried about me?" He goes, "Well, no, I just want to ask how you're doing, because you're always asking how I'm doing." That's rewarding. That's, to me, it's like, all right, this kid knows he has somebody he can count on that he can give a call to if he has an issue.
The only way I'm going to hear that is by somebody who's connected with a child and is speaking their words to me, not what they should feel or what the law's looking for or what their parents' rights entail. Just the kid. And that's something so fundamental to what we should all be thinking about.
I have personally seen the work of what CASA does and the rewards that the children are now just doing so well. They're happy and they have a sense of well-being, and that's because of us.
I have seen that insight and that input from a CASA volunteer lead to that moment of grace for the rest of us to hear what we should really be focused on if the case needs to go in a different direction.
My CASA volunteer pushed me to my full potential and made me believe that I had everything I was capable of. She led me on to be who I am today. So that's a big change she installed in me. So I would say thank you.
We also made a stop at Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we visited the Kinsey Collection, an art exhibit that honors African American history and culture.
Well, I've known about Tulsa for a long time and have been looking for material on Tulsa and still have not found the right piece. So to get into Kinsey Collection, it has to be a primary source document. It has to have some direct tie-in to what we're trying to tell. When we learned about the 100th anniversary or commemoration rather, we thought it was appropriate that Kinsey Collection be here.
When the prospect of bringing the portion of the exhibition here to Tulsa during this important time, we were just honored at even the possibility because knowing the story of Greenwood and knowing the story of the race massacre, what we do on a broader scale is strive to bring our ancestors back to life in one way or another. As my father would say, to give our ancestors a voice, a personality, and a name. And that really is what's going on here in Tulsa, in terms of acknowledgement, recognition, reconciliation, but overall honoring the people who built such a vibrant, beautiful, successful area. And that is such an important part of our history. And what we always say is this isn't black history, this isn't white history, this is American history.
What we're trying to do here in Tulsa is to kind of wrap what happened with the massacre, which is awful, but put it in an envelope of all of this brilliance and genius. So you can see that this was happening everywhere. And we have been a family trying to make sure that you will have nothing but the absolute finest example of that part of the American story. Because you cannot talk about America unless you talk about black folks.
The more that we can be a part of sharing this narrative that we're all in together and learning from the past, to be able to then move forward in a better way is just, we're better for it. And so for us to be able to be, to assist in the work that is already being done here in Tulsa, and for us to provide a broader umbrella of perspective when it comes to African American contribution, achievement, struggle of course, as well, but a much broader perspective of our humanity is something that we strive to do, and we think is vitally important to the conversation here in Tulsa.
I know the power of this information. It's very, very strong.
It's here till June 26th. Come out, because you'll really see some documents, books, manuscripts, and paintings that you won't see anyplace else other than to save possibly the Smithsonian.
You can learn more about the Kinsey family and the diverse award-winning art collection by going to thekinseycollection.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Doing More. We're here in the Melrose District in Phoenix, Arizona, celebrating diversity and inclusion. Our final stop was the state of Oklahoma, whose mission is to inspire through classical and contemporary dance performances expressed by a diverse group of dancers.
My name is Stephanie Pitts, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager with Oklahoma City Ballet. 2020 affected Oklahoma City Ballet immensely. We had to cancel our remaining performances after March for our 1920 season. We normally have a summer intensive that all had to go virtual. A lot of our school activities, teaching students, went virtual. And then we had to reimagine our 2020-21 season. We decided to keep our company dancers separated into 2 different pods. So they only interacted with the other dancers in their pod, and they were tested regularly and were required to wear masks. In the Civic Center this past year, the capacity of the theater was limited to 30% in order to make sure it was safe for everyone, socially distanced seating, masks required. However, with vaccines and things hopefully changing, this next season we will be back to 100% capacity. Our 2021 season is going to be amazing. We're bringing back a ballet that was met by the community with such excitement a few years ago. We're bringing back Alice in Wonderland, which will be great for families. Young and old will find something they love about this ballet. In December, we'll be doing Nutcracker again. And then in February, we will be doing a mixed repertory bill, so 4 different ballets called Made in the USA. So American choreographers that have made major contributions to ballet. And we will finish off the season with Sleeping Beauty. It is the epitome of classical ballet, all wrapped up into a wonderful season. Arts Reach is our arts education program. The Arts Reach program is open to students in any grade level and at any school in Oklahoma. So that's reaching rural areas and students here that are right in Oklahoma City. The major impact of this program is introducing students to ballet as a performing art and hopefully creating an appreciation for the arts that becomes lifelong. You can find out more about our Arts Reach program and all of our other community engagement programs through our website, www.okcballet.org. There, you can find out ways to enroll in our programs, as well as help support our community engagement programs that are offered free to our participants.
I want to thank Pheonix Pride and the Melrose District for celebrating diversity with us and the love of humanity. By celebrating our differences as well as our common interests, it helps unite and educate us. It creates understanding of others' perspectives to broaden our own way of thinking and to fully experience culture, heritage, race, ethnic origin, color, religion and creed, sexual orientation, age, and so much more. As we become open-minded in this diverse world, we'll be able to remove ignorance, which in return will ignite the expansion of the beauty of humanity. So let's embrace and celebrate diversity. I'm Erica Cardenas. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.